New Paltz, let's make history and elect Zephyr Teachout. Thank you all for coming out. This is an extraordinary turnout. And all of you really do have an opportunity to make history. There are 435 members in the U.S. House of Representatives. You are about to elect the most outstanding member, a leader at a time when we need leaders. I would not be here today if I were not deeply impressed about the person that Zephyr is and the campaign that she is running. These are difficult days for our country. I think you all know that. We are looking at a time when the middle class in this country is disappearing, when we have a grotesque level of income and wealth inequality, such that almost all new income is going to the top 1%. In the last 16 years, we have seen the number of billionaires in this country grow by 10 times, from 51 billionaires to 540 billionaires. But at the same time, we continue to have the highest level of childhood poverty of almost any major country on earth. At the same time as the very, very rich get richer, we have millions of young people trying to deal with outrageous levels of student debt, paying off that debt. Now you all know that we live in a competitive global economy, and we need, as a nation, the best educated workforce in the world. Our job, and Zephyr understands this, is to make public colleges and universities tuition-free, not to saddle young people with oppressive debts that they will be forced to pay off for decades. And let me tell you something that very few people, Zephyr will tell you this, but very few politicians will tell you. The great crisis of all of the crises that we face, and they are many, is that in many respects, our country today is marching toward oligarchy. Now, very few people will talk about it. Media will not talk about it very much. But what we are looking at is a nation where a handful of billionaire families not only control our economy, but as a result of this disastrous Citizens United Supreme Court decision, they want to buy the U.S. government. And brothers and sisters, you are seeing that reality right here. This is not some academic, abstract idea. It is happening in this congressional district at this moment. Wall Street billionaires are pouring in substantial sums of money for Zephyr's opponent. As I understand it, 2 billionaires have already put in $500,000 each. And you've got to ask yourself 2 questions. What kind of democracy are we living in when billionaires think they can buy elections? And the second question is, why are billionaires pouring in substantial sums of money to Zephyr's opponent? What do they want? Zephyr, on the other hand, is raising money the old-fashioned way, the way we raise money during our campaign. Now, I I was pretty proud that our average contribution for the presidential race was $27. Turns out that Zephyr's average contribution is less than that, $19. So I want you to think about what it means. One candidate gets tens of thousands of contributions, averaging $19. Another candidate gets at least two major contributions of $500,000 apiece. You tell me which side we are on. Zephyr understands that all of us have got to be thinking big, not small, to understand that in the wealthiest country in the history of the world, when we all come together, black and white and Latino and Native Americans, gay and straight, men and women, Zephyr will fight all efforts to try to break us up and divide us as Donald Trump and his supporters are trying to do. And Zephyr understands that at a time when we have so much income and wealth inequality, yes, the wealthiest people in this country and the largest corporations are going to start paying their fair share of taxes. And Zephyr understands that there is something profoundly wrong when a handful of wealthy and powerful corporations write trade agreements which work for the CEOs of multinational corporations but cost Americans millions of decent paying jobs. Long time ago, Zephyr and I were just chatting about this. Many, many years ago, she and I were at a meeting together to say no to NAFTA. And we were right then and we're right today to say no to the Trans-Pacific Partnership. We demand that corporate America start investing in this country, create good paying jobs for the people of New Paltz, for the people of Vermont, for the people of America. I understand that Zephyr's opponent was a lobbyist in support of a fracking oil pipeline. So let me say to that gentleman and to the people of this community, climate change is real. Climate change is caused by human activity and the emission of carbon. Climate change is already causing devastating problems in our country and around the world. And one of the real outrages of contemporary politics is that we have a major political party and the Republican candidate for president who are rejecting science, who are telling us that climate change is a hoax. Climate change is not a hoax. Climate change is a reality that Zephyr understands we have got to deal with and deal with forcefully. Our job is to take on the fossil fuel industry and their pipelines and to tell them that the future of our planet is somewhat more important than their short-term profits. And Zephyr understands that as a nation, we can create millions of decent-paying jobs by moving to energy efficiency, by moving to such sustainable energies as wind, solar, and other new technologies. If Zephyr Teachout is elected to the U.S. Congress, and I am very confident you are going to elect her, You will have a leader in Congress at a time when we are in desperate need of bold leadership. You will have a leader who has the guts to stand up to the billionaire class and tell these greedy people that they cannot have it all. You will have a congresswoman who understands that grassroots democracy and bringing our people together and mobilizing people is the only way that real change ever takes place.
Absolutely.
So to my mind, in this campaign, the choice is extremely clear. On one hand, you have a candidate beholden to Wall Street billionaires, and on the other hand, you have a candidate beholden to the grassroots of this community, to the working people of this community. Thank you. So in the strongest possible terms, let me suggest to you that this race is one of the most important congressional races in America because the choices are so clear. And if you elect Zephyr, the message goes out all over the country that when people stand together, that when we continue the political revolution, that Wall Street and their billionaires can pour in all the money they want. But you look around you here today, this is what we have. They have billionaires, we have the people, and when we stand together, people will win.
Absolutely. Bernie.
Thank you.
Bernie.
All right, that Bernie is now got to be transferred to Zephyr. It gives me, and I say this very sincerely because I have known Zephyr for a number of years, I have not the slightest doubt that when you elect Zephyr, she is not going to be just another member of Congress. She is going to be a leader. Please welcome Zephyr Teachout.